Hello, I'm Jacinta. Welcome back to my channel, Past That Plant. Today I'm going to attempt to repot the bird of paradise I have here in the corner. This is the giant white bird of paradise, or the Strelitzia Nicolai. I got this houseplant in 2022 and it is now 2026 and I have not repotted it in that time, so it is well and truly time to do that. The plan is to refresh the potting mix without going up a pot size, although I will see what the roots look like once I get in there. The reason I don't want to go up a pot size is this plant is already ginormous and repotting it into a bigger pot will only make it grow bigger. The plant is also sitting quite far forward in the pot and it is leaning a little bit, so I'm hoping that I can realign that and have it sitting backwards a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. I watered this one a few days ago, which was silly of me, but I am worried once I move it the water may fall out the bottom, so I am going to put a towel down just in case. The reason I'm not doing this outside is because I would have to carry it down 2 flights of stairs, repot it, and then back up 2 flights of stairs. Last time I weighed this plant, it was 35 kilos, which is more than half of what I weigh, so that is definitely not an easier option. Okay, let's go. Moving it over here wasn't too bad, and it's on my repotting mat. Now would be a good time for me to clean the leaves because I can reach them all. You can really see how much it is leaning forward now. I would like it to stand up taller, so let's see how we go with that. As always, well, as with most of my plants, this bird of paradise is in a nursery pot inside the decorative planter. Drip it a bit. Yes, I can see there's some roots coming out the bottom. There is a plant saucer in the bottom of this pot, which is what it's dripping into. You can really see how all the foliage is going one way. So I'm going to try and sit it a bit further back in the pot. Another old towel. Oh my lord. Very solid. And yes, I need to get rid of all of this. There's nothing wrong with leaving this excess stem on, it is more just for aesthetics. You can really see here the 2 different plants that I could divide, and you can do that just by cutting all the way through the roots. I'm making a big enough mess as it is today, so I will leave it at this. I really don't want to go up a pot size, so I am just going to try and remove some of this potting mix. I will put new potting mix back in my pot at the base, put the plant in, try and align it a little bit better, and then add a lot of fresh potting mix at the top. And hopefully that will help it stand up better. Using gloves. Loosening up the potting mix a bit. Oh, she's a big gal. I didn't even notice this big bit because it's still quite green. I love it. Gloves for repotting to try and keep your hands clean so we don't get Legionnaire's disease. And also a lot of sap of plants is toxic, so you just want to be careful when cutting them back as well. Not going to worry about loosening the roots too much more because then it'll just be more voluminous and won't fit back in the pot I'm trying to put it back into. So on to adding fresh potting mix. So I have some mesh rounds which I'm putting in the base just over the holes, the drainage holes, so the potting mix doesn't fall straight back out. Wouldn't want to make a mess in here. Chunky Aroid mix. Put some in. Put my bop in. Try and angle her backwards a little bit more, and then add a lot of topsoil and around the sides. Let's do that. Okay, to make sure that it sits straighter up, I'm going to have to remove some roots from this side. So let's do that. Very satisfying. After me saying I wasn't going to disturb the roots too much. Okay, I should now be able to put it in the pot further back so it sits up straighter. Okay, much better. So now I can put a bunch of potting mix at the front and she should sit up a lot straighter. I think this repot has surpassed my begonia repot for the most chaotic repot. But you've all seen how beautiful my begonia is, so hopefully this one ends just as well. Try and fill it up a little bit higher as well. She's sitting so much better. I know they seem crazy. Probably can't tell, but she is. I'll show you, don't worry. Okay, I will put her back in her spot before I water her because she's already heavy. So I have my plant saucer, which I put in the bottom of my decorative planter because there is holes in it. there you have it. Easy, right? Hello, it's a few days later. Alfie's now gone, Ernie is now here, and my bird of paradise is still in the middle of my office. I think the repot went a little bit too well, and she's sitting so beautifully now. She's not leaning at all. The foliage is fanned out and it is now even bigger than before. So I still haven't decided where I'm going to put it. I do think behind my desk is a good option, but I haven't decided yet. Today I'm going to water the plant and mist and clean the leaves. I haven't watered it already, one because it just makes it heavier, and two because, as you would have just watched, I was quite rough on the roots, so there would have been some open wounds, and you don't want those getting wet as that can cause rot, just like when you prune off some leaves or a stem that's just a little bit raw there. But it's been 4 days, so it'll be fine to water it now. This is just tap water. As I've said many times before, I'm very lucky to live somewhere that has soft tap water, so it is fine for most houseplants. I do also collect rainwater and love using that when it is on hand. I'm going to give this plant a good mist now. This is just water. And then I'm going to wipe all the leaves because it's usually not this accessible. Gosh, you can't see these leaves, but they're beautiful. I think that's it for the Bird of Paradise Strelitzia Nicolai repot. She's sitting up so much better now. It's not leaning at all the foliage is laid out how it should be. Let's hope I don't have to repot it for another 4 years. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.